a friend of mine today who is on the
Yay.
other side of the country. Yay is right.
Woo.
Um, I've known him, I won't even say how many years.
No, he won't.
Actor, advocate, Andy Arias. Andy Arias, look at you.
Hi.
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 How are
This,
you?
well, we're in our new normal of living in our homes
Right.
and working in our homes, and I'm doing good. I'm day 70 now, I think, of not leaving my home. So it's quite a bit of fun, but yeah.
Have you not left at all?
Well, I drive and I check the mail, but like going around in public, even if I have gloves and mask on, it's a little dangerous, because how are you gonna take them off? And basically, me rolling my wheelchair is basically like walking on my feet, and then rubbing my feet all over my face and saying, I'm okay. So I've been very careful about leaving.
Yeah.
And I would have left already and flown to Los Angeles and been with our wonderful, beautiful Angela Rockwood if I thought flying was safe. But I'm here in DC, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're keeping safe, and I mean you've done so much amazing stuff in your life. I mean, from Hollywood to DC. It sounds like
It sounds like a TV show. Wait a minute, what's going on?
I think you're gonna write it, and it's gonna
And
star you.
Yes, and then back to Los Angeles. So that's the goal. By the end of 2020, I'll be back in LA.
That would
and
be
hopefully
great.
still doing my job, but back in LA. So,
right.
Yes.
Right. By the way, I saw and I loved your interview with Judy Heumann this past month. I mean, it was incredible. It showed the love and respect that you both have for each other.
I did an interview early on with her when I first got to DC, like in 2018. And I worked with Tom Hanks, and I told her right before we started filming, I said, I was more nervous about meeting you and working with you than I was working with Tom Hanks. And she was like, really? And I was like, yes, because you are everything that I want to be. As I grow as a person with a disability, you are everything that I want to be, except me, but have your ability to stretch international disability awareness. And she is the most giving, most beautiful person and most real person. She'll sit down and drink with you, and if she does not agree with you, she will tell you. She will be like, this is not happening. So yeah, she's a lovely, lovely woman, and I'm so happy that I get to work with her.
Well, she is on my top 10 list of people of all time to meet, because I mean, I saw her, of course, in Crip Camp.
Yeah.
Which is like my favorite movie right now and one of the best documentaries I've seen. Yeah, she's just incredible. So it's so nice to hear that is amazing in person.
She's a really nice person, and we can't always say that about people in Hollywood. We get to work with them. We can't always say they're the nicest people ever, but she talks and rolls the walk that you see. So what you see is what you get, which is really fantastic.
And she was so great, because I was getting letters for Jerry Jewell, and she wrote one, and it was just beautiful. It was just overflowing with love.
Oh yeah, she's honestly, she's helping me write my book. Like, she's giving me advice and telling me do this and do that, because I'm writing a biography about all the fun things I've done in my short little life, and she's actually helping me push that out, and kind of giving me sort of insights about all those things. So it's great.
There's a quote from you And it
Yes.
says, you have to know true darkness before you can appreciate the light.
Uh-huh.
Where does that come from?
So that comes from, you know that I grew up in foster care, but not a lot of people do. So I've had a very tumultuous upbringing with very interesting people kind of coming in and out of my life. And so for a lot of my childhood, up until the age of about 19, 17, my life was very dark and very kind of negative and I didn't have any choices that were my own in those times. And so when I became an adult, I wanted to live in real lightness, right? But not forget about the darkness that made me. Like the fire that I came from needs to be acknowledged, right? In order to roll through it, right? Because I'm in a wheelchair, so I like to say roll, not walk. Rolling through it really fortified who I am. And so I really appreciate the darkness, right? Because without that darkness, I could not see the light for its true value, right? I think a lot of people say love and light, but they might not appreciate it as much as they should, right? And so every day I try to live in gratitude and appreciation of even the littlest bit of light, right? There could be like a little speckle of light, and I try to live in that light and acknowledge that not everything around me is going to be filled with light, but I could take that speck and expand it, so my perception of light is huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you tell people, we have Performing Arts Studio West here, we have Meet the Biz, we have the whole internet,
Right.
whoever would like to see today. How do you tell people who are going through something like that? How do you get through it?
I think it's an individual choice, but I think my advice to people who are currently living in the darkness or currently living in the not most uplifting space, which we all go through, right? A lot of people in this COVID situation are living in that space right now. So what I would say to them is grab onto one thing per day, one thing per hour. If it needs to be that hour, grab onto one thing and make that something you're grateful for. Could be one thing, and start with the one thing and make it grow. I really had to work on not focusing on the negative, right? Because it's so easy to fall into that and say like, nothing's going right, everything's going crappy. But I picked one thing and I tried to make that the best thing ever. And I felt at times I was insane, right? Because I was like, this isn't that great, but I'm gonna make it fantastic so it could work. And it was a daily practice. I kept doing it, and everything got brighter and brighter and brighter. And it wasn't so much about my environment anymore, but more about my perception of what I thought I was seeing and feeling. It really changed the internal to the external, right? So I wasn't looking at the outside thinking everything was negative. I was really looking inside for that light instead of looking at it in the outside spaces.
And you do have a fire within you.
Yes, yeah, I certainly do. Yeah, no, I am very, what do I like to say? I always get bored, not bored as in like, I don't want to do that anymore, but I always feel like I have to be doing 30,000 things to feel like I'm accomplishing anything. And I feel like that's where the fire is, right? It's like constantly going. I only sleep about 4 hours a night, so it's, yeah.
How do you do that? Right? Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I had one of those nights last night too.
Yeah. Insomnia is a very interesting thing because your brain is constantly like going, but that I also try to make those negative thoughts that come late at night, I always try to put them into a positive spin, right?
like
if I'm going to focus on something, I'm going to write it down and make something out of it instead of saying that it's horrible.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out a word.
Yes.
And then whatever first comes to your mind.
Okay.
Family.
Los Angeles. I haven't had a consistent family for the majority of my life. And when I came to LA and meet the biz folks and Angela and you and our beautiful friend KAREN-EILEEN Gordon, I started realizing that my family was all around me, and the people that I love were the people that were going to be there for me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And many of you know, we know the same people, and we know those people. And I think that we do not get to choose who the universe gives us to as children. But in our adult life, we can choose to fill ourselves and be around the people that can love us the most, can be honest with us the most, can contribute to our well-being in the most beautiful way. And I think as an adult, that's family, right? The people that know me and see me for who I am. And I'm kooky as all get out. I'm kooky, and you'll be the first to say it, but those are the people that are my family, and they call me out on all my bull, right? But they love me for who I am, which is great.
Yeah. I remember, God, I don't know, years ago when I was taking you home from class one day and driving you, and I said, well, I'll see you later, Andy. And then you turned to me and you said, can you help me with my chair? And I went, oh, because I don't even think about that, because I know you're Andy, and I know that, you have a chair as well. But I don't know. Is that a bad thing? I don't know.
No, you know what? It's like, you're not the only one. Several of my exes, my boyfriends, have forgotten about my chair. And Karen, actually, we were at our favorite place, the three of us favorite places, which is Disneyland, and we were in the parking lot, and Karen did the same thing. She was getting out, she had all her stuff, she had her purse, she had a big bag of stuff, and she looked at me like, what are you waiting for? And I was like, Karen, the chair's in the trunk. And she was like, oh my God. Like, I kind of love that, because it means you see me for me and you don't see me for my disability, right? And I'm very proud disabled guy, but I don't go around saying, I'm the guy in the wheelchair and my name's Andy, just like I don't go around saying, hi, I'm gay, my name's Andy, how are you? Right? So it's very like, it is what it is, but the fact that my friends, the people that I love, just see me is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Because, when you did that to me for the first time, I was like, okay, this is awesome, right? This is great. Yeah, no, I love that.
You know me, I do see, the family. So I knew that, we have that word in common, and the people within it.
No, it's great.
It's interesting too, it could be the opposite. Some people just come up to somebody who happens to use a wheelchair and just starts pushing them for no reason.
Oh my God. Yeah. If I'm going up a hill and you see me struggling, I'm the type of person that if you want to give me a shove, give me a shove. Now, if I'm just rolling down the street and you rock up behind me, say, hey, that's not okay. But if I'm doing something, I look at it like this. If you're carrying 3 bags of stuff
Right.
and you're opening a door, and I'm just sitting there watching you struggling, opening the door and holding all your groceries or whatever, I'm rude for not helping you. It's the same way, like if I'm going up a hill that's like that slanted, and somebody just gives me a little shove, I'm fine with that. You know, if you want to ask, but if I'm about to tip over, please, you know, give me a shove first before I tip over. Yeah.
Now, and I heard that it's good to ask somebody, may I?
It is great to ask somebody, but sometimes when you're in that moment of like getting up the hill, just, you know, I've had people help me and then say, was it okay? And I'm like, yes. I'm not one of those people that, you know, if it's going to be between the back of my head and the help of your hand, I'll take the hand. Believe me. Yeah.
So you're an actor. When did you want to become an actor?
You know, I remember this, and Jerry's gonna laugh. I don't remember seeing anybody with a disability when I was younger on TV, and I didn't even know Jerry Jewell had CP. I thought, because you know, I was very young when I saw the reruns of Facts of Life. I didn't know what disability really meant. You know, I just knew that I was different. And when I saw Jerry Jewell on, you know, reruns, and I would see her, I didn't know she could have had any disability. I didn't even know what that meant. But then seeing other people in Los Angeles trying to do that, the Angela, the Toby, all those people, I wanted to try it too. And I remember sitting in my North Hollywood apartment, you're going to get a kick out of this. I was like, I don't want to act with a group of regular folk until I'm comfortable with my disability. And it was really through Meet the Biz and through all the other stuff that I was doing and seeing all those actors with disabilities, it really pushed me to want to be an actor, right? Before it was just a dream or a maybe, but then seeing Angela, Toby, Jerry, all those folks really working on manifesting their dreams, I was like, this is what I want to do. And I think that there's still that space that needs the intersectionality of LGBTQ, disability, and Latin, you know, all in one little package, which isn't out there yet. So I know when I come back to LA, I'm working on lots of different little projects that are going to put me out there in a different way than I was before. So.
Now, are you still going to be working in the
policy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now I work on disability employment policy. Can't tell you where I work, but I can tell you that I'm working in that. I'm still going to have a day job, but on the weekend, after hours, you know, there's going to be a 3-hour time difference between when I get off the clock for them and what I'm able to do in Hollywood.
Right.
So I'm still going to be able to do that work. And I'm probably going to be able to do it much more because I'm going to have a different kind of focus, right? Before I was just throwing, it felt like when I was in LA before, I was just throwing spaghetti to a wall and hoping it would stick. And now I feel like when I come back, I have a very strategic focus of what I want and who I want to be in Hollywood. So it's going to be very different.
Right. Do you think you'll still do stand-up?
Oh, God, yes. I will do stand-up.
Now, did you start stand-up or acting first? What came first?
I started acting first, and then I did stand-up because I heard a bunch of my friends say, if you want somebody to pick you for a comedy show, you should do stand-up because people from NBC and CBS come to watch stand-up comedians. And the reason I paused stand-up while I'm doing this policy job in DC is because DC is very small, right? I did one show in New York and I got recognized here. And it was a small show, and I was like, oh, I can't do that because I don't want to be in a meeting Monday morning and them say, oh, I saw that little funny guy Saturday, and he was talking all this inappropriate stuff. So yeah. So, but when I come back to LA, it's going to be very funny because I'm already starting to work with bookers and different things so they can start booking me as soon as all this COVID stuff is over.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out a name.
Okay.
KAREN-EILEEN.
Oh, Corey. We're talking about family, and Corey, it's funny, he always felt like my grandfather in a lot of ways because he made acting real for me in a lot of ways. Like you brought the reality to acting. Like it could be an opportunity, it could be a real career option, right? But when we worked with Corey together, he brought the no bullshit aspect of acting to it, and he said, no, this is who you're going to be as a real person, and you're going to be able to show this through your art. And I remember going to Corey's house. I had a big audition for a network once, and I ran to Corey's house when he lived up on Sunset. I was like, Corey, I really need your help. And he was like, what? I was like, I really want to get this part. Help me. And he took the script, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. It's not about the words. It's about you. And we just sat and talked about who I was as this character. And he really broke it down in a way that made it so loving and honest. And there's a photo that I took with him in Burbank that is one of the most beautiful photos, and I go back to it sometimes because I think he's with all of us in a lot of ways. Like I feel him all the time.
Oh, wait, I think he's here now.
Yeah, right? He's here now.
Yuri and I do that a lot. We're just, Corey's here.
Corey's there. Yeah, I go and speak on different topics on intersectionality and faith and disability and LGBTQ. And when I'm going to talk to like about 1,000 people, I feel Corey on my shoulder, and he's like, go do it.
And this is all around the country.
Yeah, so I fly all around the country, and I speak on diversity and inclusion through Georgetown University. So I actually have 2 jobs in DC. I work on policy, and then I'm a national recognized public speaker for Georgetown University. So that's 2 jobs here, and then I still do acting and producing and all that fun stuff because only 4 hours of sleep. What am I going to do with the rest of my time?
Oh my God. Well, it's so interesting though how you say too about Corey, because I'm just taking it in and I'm like, it makes me really miss him right now. But also
I miss him too.
Knowing how many people he affected.
He had I carry him in my heart so much. And I used to visit him on Highland and go sit with him for hours in his room and just sit there. And, by that time he wasn't talking much, but he didn't need to talk that much. I would sit there and hold his hand, and we would communicate to each other without speaking, because I could already feel what he would say to me if he could have the words to say those things.
Right.
That I thought I needed to hear, but he would always say like, what was his phrase? In the next, you have one breath. What are you going to do with that one breath? And I would be like, oh God. So every time I don't want to do something, I'm like, okay, Andy, this is your last breath. What are you going to do? And he pushes me over and lets me do that one thing. Yeah. I know. Corey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you, God, beside an actor. I mean, you've gotten several awards for working in the LGBT community.
Yes, I've gotten lots of recognition and awards for just being just a voice for that community. I run several disability LGBTQ groups. I think, and you and I both know that there is a different kind of LGBTQ sometimes in Los Angeles, right? It's all about young and beauty, and whether you go to the gym or whether you don't. And I'm trying to break that sort of mold of what is beautiful in the LGBTQ world, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, do you know Billy Cliff?
Yes.
Billy and I are working on a project together right now, and he and I just love him. He is such when I get older, I want to be just like Billy.
Well, you did an interview with him too, huh?
I did an interview with him too, and if he was single, he's gonna see this. If he was single, I would totally be more than a fan. But he is such a beautiful soul and spirit, and it's people like that, I think, that are gonna move what we think of LGBTQ and beautiful into a new space, right? So that's really my focus, is that because I am disabled, I think that disability isn't celebrated in that community as much as it should be. I know there's new TV out that is very much at the forefront of it, but I think it's still kind of like, oh, that's cute. It's really great that they're doing that, but it's not taken as a real aspect of what beautiful is, right? Or what is valued. So that's what I try to do in my work.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It shows, and I mean, going back to the federal government again.
Yes.
You've been working for how many years in Washington, D.C.?
4 years. I hit my 4th year May 1st.
And what brought you there? Why did you say, I've got to do this?
I wanted, it's funny because most of our friends, I'm not going to mention any names, okay. We were all, chasing the wheel of entertainment, right? And I remember asking Gail, I went to her office right after I got the job offer, and I was like, Gail, in all reality, should I take this job and move across the country, or should I stay and see if something's gonna happen?
Right.
And she told me very clearly, Andy, you're ahead of your time. You're very ahead of your time. I don't know what's out there for you right now. So if I was you,
right,
I would take this job and I would do the best at this job as you possibly could. And what I really wanted to do was marry my knowledge of policy and entertainment in one thing. Right. Because I really think that, yes, I have a national voice now and a presence on policy for people with disabilities, but right. The way normal people are going to get it, they're going to see it, they're going to have to see it on TV, right? Yeah. They're going to have to see people on TV with disabilities having jobs, being married, having babies, having these lives that they love without apology, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we're just starting to see that. We're not really there yet. Right. We're getting there, but it's not like, it's not normal yet, right? Whatever normal is, right. It's not an everyday thing. So it's sort of, that's why I came, is because I thought Hollywood will have to be on pause. Yeah. But I've gained so much by being here, and going to an audition now when you're in congressional meetings and when you're at the White House and doing all this work, it's sort of like, oh my God, I was nervous about that audition at NBC. Why?
Well, all this makes you so much richer as an actor.
Yeah, if you ever need me to play a spy, I got it. No.
Oh my God, right?
Oh my God. No, but I'm really glad that I did it. And funny thing, everybody in DC wants to be part of Hollywood. And I think secretly, everyone in Hollywood wants to be a little bit political. So I get to live in both those worlds, which is kind of cool.
Yes. Well, I see our mutual friend is here.
Who's our mutual friend? Who's popping on?
Say a little, disguise your voice a little.
Hello, Cookie.
Oh, oh my God. It's KAREN-EILEEN.
Hello,
Oh.
darling.
Hi.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, why can't you see me?
I don't know.
I think he only sees when he's not on the three of us. He's on the single shots.
Speaker view? Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
When everyone speaks, I get to see a piece of, gosh, Karen, you
Yeah,
look so beautiful. I can't with you. This is my interview, Karen. You
Oh my
more
God.
beautiful than me. Oh
You
my
look
God.
you look beautiful all the time.
Oh, well, I try. Somebody the other day said, Andy, you're never aging. And I said, yes, it's true. I'm a vampire.
Yeah. The idea.
Yeah.
Andy and I were talking about Disneyland earlier.
Opening.
Yes, we were. I was telling him the story about you forgetting my wheelchair and running out of the car and looking
Almost
at me
every
like,
time.
what are you doing?
I'm like halfway up the thing and I'm like, where is he? Oh. Oh. What
You
is he
totally
doing in there?
forgot.
Oh, okay.
And she looked at me like, are you coming? I was like, well, yeah.
I'm like, dude, let's go. And I was like, oh.
As soon as I get my legs, I will be right there.
I just don't see them.
I know.
I'm the same way.
There, yeah.
David forgot it too, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.